Really? This map? Okay. Hello everyone and welcome to another Exploring a Call of Duty multiplayer map. Today we're going to be looking at a classic Black Ops 2 launch map, Turbine. So if some of you might remember, Turbine was one of the very first maps that we ever saw revealed for Black Ops 2. If you remember the classic Black Ops 2 reveal trailer, we saw some multiplayer gameplay from some COD players on this map, and as some of you will also remember, Turbine is probably one of the biggest maps in Black Ops 2, which is why I'm a little hesitant on jumping into this one, but nonetheless, we will go through, we're going to explore this map, we're going to look at all like the little finer details, and sort of reminisce about how this classic Black Ops 2 map played out. Well, here we are on Turbine. Obviously, the name of the map is pretty self-explanatory about why it's called Turbine, but nonetheless, let's go around, let's explore the map, and let's see what we're working with here. So, the map is obviously named Turbine, and the most defining reason why is because there's turbines on the map, and of course through the center part of the main map right here there is a giant wind turbine that has been knocked over. Whether it was shot down deliberately or by accident, you might look around the map and you might find some info about the details on that. So obviously we're in a desert area. This map is geographically very close to the Yemen map. In fact, it might just be a few miles or so away from that map, judging from the architecture of the buildings. So we're on one of the spawn sides right here. Now obviously this is one of the maps that you would only play in one of the bigger game modes, but I do distinctively remember this map coming up in the free-for-all rotation, and that was always a miserable, miserable time. Got some buildings over here. Good lines of sight onto the inner spawn point. Now, a lot of the action of the map is directed near the center and, of course, along the ridge and the sides cave over here. So if we take a look, you see that we can get sort of a view across the way. Obviously, you have that center fallen turbine, and this obviously it's hollowed out so you can run through it in the center, which is where one of the flag locations are. And if you look, you can see there's that balcony building across the center of the map. So moving along over here, we have another little platform that looks down. Basically everything is all about the action going on in the gorge. Again, Treyarch is known for their classic 3-lane map designs, and this map, despite being gigantic, is no different. Obviously, we have this little jump over spot right here. I remember this was a quick little way to get a drop on somebody who might be trying to flank or come from this side of the map here. Now let's go into the main building, where this is where all the workers who on the map would service the turbines. As we can see in here, there is some blood splatter, some water, some grime, and obviously it's pretty clear that when the map started to get attacked, everyone pretty much left in a hurry here. Now in the multiplayer, when you play this map back in the day, this is the building that 99% of all of the campers would camp on. And it would mostly come down to this area right here. This overlooks the entirety of the center of the map. It overlooks the lane coming from that direction, this lane here, across the way, and you can see, once again, that balcony building. Another interesting little tidbit, this is not very common, but on most multiplayer maps, especially not in Infinity Ward maps, but Treyarch is known for having miniguns on some of their multiplayer maps back in World at War, and obviously we see here you have an unlimited ammo minigun, and it pretty much overlooks the entire center part of the map right here with a pretty decent line of sight. You might not be able to shoot over there, but you can see if somebody is coming to flank into this building. And again, this is just another perfect example of how this building is just used for camping all the time. And because there's this little stairway that you have to come in here, it's very easy for someone who is camping to kind of get the drop on anyone who's trying to get them out. See, I have some some details around here, all the things that control the wind turbines, and other such things. Yeah, as you can see here, fallen turbine. The texture is very, very low. It looks like turbine number 10 is the one that crashed and fell down. It's completely destroyed, as we can see here. So this is obviously the room where they monitored the turbines and saw it get destroyed. So we take a look down here. And again, another pathway leading into this building here that leads back to the center. And I could be mistaken, but I think another objective on one of the other game modes was on this platform right here. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure maybe in hardcore or hardpoint there was a spot right here. And obviously, you know, you could throw grenades up, or you could throw grenades or flashbangs down. So, again, everything always circles back to that room right there. So let's move out over here, take a look, and obviously this area right here, this bridge, and that little area right there on top of the turbine is one of the earliest things we saw in multiplayer. If you remember the classic multiplayer trailer, we saw somebody place down a microwave turret right here for the first time. The Guardian turret's a very memorable kill streak from this game, and I sure as hell loved using it a lot, especially for holding down objectives and camping, or even counter-camping against people who are hiding in buildings. And of course we have this little path that leads down around here. Now, I don't remember many people actually using this little cut-through path right here. I remember most people would run through the center of the map, or they would run on the right side and get up to the bridge. You see over here, this is one of these spawn points. Now, obviously, we have this rock here, and this little hole right here. Now, if somebody was spawn trapping you from any of these angles right here, this little pipe would be a good way of crouching in here, getting around, and probably trying to escape. Because as you can see, if somebody were to be up on this ridge right here, and somebody ran into that pipe, it would be definitely protected from anyone who was trying to get the drop on them. So if we come up around here, we have this little interesting little square balcony building right here. There's lots of balcony buildings that overlook a lot of key points on the map. Obviously, this overlooks the spawn. And if we take a look back over here, now we have the other side of the bridge. Obviously, the bridge is very uneven. It's very rickety. It's probably done from all the damage when the turbine crashed. And as we can see, the turbine did crash and fall down here. It created another little ledge that you can run down. It's interesting. I don't know if you can actually see. You seem to gain a little bit of speed when you run up and down this little turbine wing here. So now let's take a look over here on the ridge side, which is where the majority of the action in free-for-all and a lot of team deathmatch games took place. Obviously, we have over here nice little overlook of the valley of many turbines. This is where a lot of the quick action and grenade throwing and tactical, you know, lethal nonsense would go on over there. And obviously we have up here, which is one of the most irritating spots, because when you get up here, you have this very, very powerful head glitch. It's one of the most irritating positions to have to deal with, because it looks over this entire area. You can see the bridge. If you jump, you can actually probably see on the other side of the bridge too. And obviously you can see down into the enemy spawn. And you can even see into that doorway a little bit right here. The good thing that rock is covering up most of it. But this right here is certainly a power position. Now, of course, you can jump up here, but the time it takes you to jump up, man, you're exposed for so long. If anyone that plays this map remembers this room right here, just trying to run up, you're so exposed for such a long period of time. Because the stairway is so steep, you're not going to get a good angle on the person who's camping in here. Obviously, we have back over here another one of the side paths on the 3-lane map design. Again, we have this vehicle right here, which is different from the rest of the mechanic trucks you see around the map. So it's possible that when the turbine crashed, maybe it was shot down by some Cortes Dia members, that the military, local military, came in to try and fix the problem. So we take a back another route around here. We see this is one of the base for the turbine that's still standing on the map. This circular design right here is very interesting. It creates a very interesting dynamic. There's lots of circular structures in Black Ops 2 multiplayer maps. If anybody remembers, on Raid, there's a circular fountain in the middle of the map, and it creates an interesting dynamic when there's a structure like this, when there's a curve around, and obviously you have these walls here that are designed to have grenades thrown against them, and to have them bounce around the corner, and obviously you have some dynamic gameplay there. Now, here we have the main overlook of the map. Now this is the most important power position because it gives you a complete unobstructed view of that building's windows over there, little courtyard thing right there, this entire path here, the little cut through into the center fallen turbine, which we'll get to. You see the bridge, the under the bridge, and all the way back over to the enemy spawn, including that window that we were looking at earlier. So basically, if you're up here, you're extremely vulnerable, but you have a very good overview of the map itself. And this is where the problem comes in, because what was the most powerful weapon class in Black Ops 2? The snipers. And snipers really reign supreme on almost all maps, and when you have a map where most SMGs and assault rifles start to drop off, everyone's running around with snipers and LMGs. Coming back over here onto this side, we'll loop back in to the classic spawn. And again, we have here one of the fallen turbine parts. We can run through here, and now we're back in the spawn. So obviously, most of the action takes place in the center, and that is where the interesting little... it's interesting because there is 3 lanes, but there's multiple paths within each lane, because you have the fallen turbine, which, of course, if you jump on top of it, you can get around pretty quickly, but you can see everything and everyone can see you. So jumping up on top of the turbine is only really done for quick movements. I would not stay up here very long because you are going to get shot from one of the 1,000 different angles all looking at you. But the coolest part about this map is the turbine itself. Now that it's crashed and fallen down here, it's an entirely new path. And it's protecting you from all of the lines of sight, apart from 1 or 2. And of course, you have a little crouch spot. You can get in here. You have a nice unobstructed view of whoever's looking out there. You got some brush to kind of give you like a little bit of cover here, visual cover. And of course, you have running all the way until you have this quick leading up onto the bridge. So again, this is an interesting map because the map itself, it flows quite well because it is a 3-lane map. The issue is that because it's so big and you have all these lines of sight, you know, it pretty much leads into an LMG sniper camping sort of deal. And on objective game modes, the map is a lot better, but on team deathmatch and free-for-all, especially, this map is really not one of my favorites. It's very interesting that they never brought this map back, because a lot of the maps in Cold War, for example, give me very big Turbine vibes, especially that one desert map. So I think that this is a map that would definitely play well in a game like Cold War, because in Black Ops 2, for example, it's a little rough in certain situations. The question is Turbine a bad map? Well, it depends. If you like sniping, if you like LMGs, and if you like slower, more campy gameplay, perhaps you will like this map. But even so, in objective game modes, it plays decent enough. The question is, do you like big maps, or do you like small to medium-sized maps? And I lean more towards the small to medium-sized, but if a map is going to be big, I would much prefer to have a classic 3-lane structure and very clear lines of sight, rather than a map that is a complete nightmare to traverse with buildings everywhere. So, if you enjoyed this little run around and look and exploring of the classic Black Ops 2 Turbine map, be sure to leave a like and give me more suggestions of Call of Duty multiplayer maps that I should take a look at.